how should we go? Who has questions? We'll just go from here.
If you have questions at all, I mean, it's very self-explanatory film. You're very well made up. There's no points for more questions. We can just sit here and look at you two. Yes, Mademoiselle of the Best.
How much of it was scripted and how much was improv?
In the final cut, I would say it's about 80% scripted. Like, people really like the script, but they're all improv people. I think we could have cut together like a Peter Jackson 9-hour improv cut that was great. The entire
would be okay.
Okay, maybe it's good.
It also is going to be a huge long. Well, yes.
Yeah. But the whole last scene was not scripted. The whole some people don't even pass me on the street and say hello.
Because why would you ever put that in a script?
Why would you have a character named Fidel with the last second word down says people don't say hello?
That's nuts.
Yeah, so that was made up, as was all of the naming of the baby stuff. But it's weird. Some stuff that seems like we made it up is scripted and vice versa. So,
Let's hear it.
So there was a ton of inside New Orleans humor in there. So
Are you from New Orleans?
Yeah, I lived there for a long time. My family was there.
Yeah.
So who is connected? Who came up with all that inside New Orleans stuff?
well, you know, we've always liked New Orleans a lot. We went down and we were in the Mardi Gras parade a couple of years ago, and we sort of fell in love with New Orleans. And when we decided to shoot the movie there, we thought instead of like sort of ignoring things, just to embrace like Tom Elise's and just little nuancey things. But it was an effort to just make the movie feel pretty specific.
Oh, well, actually, interesting. Originally, it was set in Los Angeles in a house called, and we called it. The name of it was Murder House, and which is the American Horror, the TV show.
Yeah.
But it came out before the TV show came out. So our first draft, a tour bus would go by and say, "Well, there's the Murder House." Like they would point it out, and then the TV show American Horror Story
Did exactly that.
did exactly that. And then we said, "Oh, we've got to put this somewhere else." And when we moved it to New Orleans, we did a whole other pass. It was so much better. That just put in all the New Orleans, flavor and characters and stuff.
One fun thing when you shoot in New Orleans, the place where I have the anaconda around my neck. In the 2 days prior to filming there, they pulled 8 alligators out of there. And I said over the weekend, the stunt coordinator, who's also what in New Orleans they call a licensed nuisance removal expert, which means they get alligators out of places. He said, I'll just do a sweep and see if there's any like really big alligators. And I was like, you're kidding, right? And over the weekend, he would just text me updates of how many alligators had been. And I'm not crazy about going into like swimming pools, so there was that. But no, we actually thanked, if you notice, we eat a lot of zaps, but we also thanked a very specific drink.
Painkillers.
Yeah, which is a drink in New Orleans. Yeah, we drank a lot of them, as you can tell by this thought-provoking film. Any other really super hard-hitting questions? Let's hear it.
So I noticed a whole lot of just references, satirical references from past horror films, or at least kind of saw something like that. Was this a project that those ideas came just over time, or did you kind of have that aha moment and just put it all together?
Tom, we've been talking about doing a horror movie for 25 years.
Pretty long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Like we both, we write comedy, we do comedy, but we watch horror movies. And like the movies that we talk about are horror movies.
Like the Orphanage and the Changeling and that kind of stuff. We don't really talk about comedies because it's like, why?
That's like work, yeah. But we're big, and like good, and it's I think Hugo was talking about this. Horror movies, like to keep people on their toes, they really dramatically shift. Like every 6 years, there's like a different type, and it's found footage, and now it's like ghosts, and then it's gore, and it's saw, and it's interesting how they change. And so we both we love good horror movies, and we both I think we both love like Rosemary's Baby and George C. Scott, Changeling, and The Exorcist, and so I think we both know this stuff kind of backwards and forwards. So
But there's a lot of obviously we're inspired by Rosemary's Baby, The Orphanage, The Changeling, The Shining. Inspired by, as I guess loosely, because we just stole stuff from every single one. What if everything that happened in every one of those movies happened in 2 days in one house?
One of my favorite parts of the movie was the part where they were eating sandwiches. I mean, it was
Yes.
quite a symphony. Did you compose that, or was that edited together? Whose idea was that?
There's actually very little music in that. It's all the music of their lips and jowls. And,
We added some parts. We added that were not practical.
and actually, in the script, it says, you know, there's a symphony, a symphony of food sounds. And I kind of called Tom and I said, Tom, I kind of don't know what to do about that. He said, don't worry about it. There's actually very little music in that.
So we ate po' boys, which are a foot-long sandwich with roast beef and
So
gravy.
6 of them is a man.
6 of them is a guy. It's a guy. It's a 12-year-old, the weight of a 12-year-old boy. And the first thing that we shot was our coverage, and so we're sitting there doing the Food Symphony, and the camera's on us, and Rob Hubel is sitting here, and in our coverage, not on camera, he ate 2. And so we're trying to improv and be funny, and we realized we have
We're
to.
going to be here for 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
He could die.
He ate 7. He ate 7.
7 feet of roast beef. That's like Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah.
That was up.
What was the vomit dance?
Here's what's interesting. There were 2 kinds of vomit, and we started shooting with one of them. This is the hard-hitting questions we were looking at. We thought the split pea soup would work better, and what actually worked better was what was minestrone? It was minestrone. Like, we were totally wrong.
Yeah.
That's one of those gross things when you act like you're throwing up for a long time, and you're around people throwing up, you feel like you're going to throw up. It's super, super gross. It's kind of a gross movie. So. Let's hear it.
How long did that climactic scene take to shoot? How many takes did you do? Tell us a little bit about Devil Babies and animatronic.
Devil Baby was the hardest thing that ever happened. You know, we really always wanted to do it practically. We didn't want to do any CGI stuff. 1, we couldn't afford it, and 2, it would never look. Even though it looked kind of weird, I love the way the baby looks. Like, to me, that's that kind of movie. Like, I'm a big like trilogy of terror fan. I like those kind of movies, you know. So we shot that over 2 days, and it was pretty stressful. The one thing about all the really silly people in the movie is that they're very good about committing to things, no matter how stupid they are. So we actually rehearsed that whole scene like a play for like a whole day where we didn't shoot. Remember, we stayed a whole night, we drank quite a bit, and we rehearsed it until we could literally do it like a play, and then we filmed it over the course of 2 days, sort of piecemeal.
So everybody knew when you were going in to do close-up and coverage, they could just do the same thing again and again. So we actually rehearsed it. But there was the football baby that we could throw around. There was an animatronic baby, and then there was biting baby, which never worked at all. And all of them had hoses in them that spurt blood, which never worked at all. So it was really, really tricky.
Awful. And it sucked. And it barely worked out.
It looks great. I'm watching the scene, I'm like, that's so much better than I thought it would be. Because it had no right to be. Let's hear it.
You guys are, I mean, you're famous for writing some really big family movies. I don't know what the funding process for this was, but was this a tough sell, you know, to get the money and get the support for it?
This,
Yeah, no, it's inexpensive. We've done
this is a very inexpensive movie.
But the answer is actually no. There was very, maybe it's because of the genre. You know, for inexpensive movies now, you can get them made. I think it's easier to get a movie like this made, maybe, or a $200 million movie than like anything in the middle.
Yeah.
Like those are just impossible. But if you have like a $200 million idea that has to be the biggest hit of all time, and it's
Play in
3D,
Russia.
and you don't have to speak English, that will go immediately. Or something that's so off the radar, but it is in a genre that has had success. So it was actually everybody that read the script pretty much wanted to make it, which was only 3 or 4 places. So.
It was like we did after Reno 911. We did a fantastic pilot that didn't go for FX. That was Reno 911 in space, sort of.
it was exactly, we were on a spaceship. We'd been out for like 6 years out of a 7-year mission. We had a sex robot that we'd all grown really, really tired of. We were required to shower together to save water, but we're forbidden from having sex with each other. So there was all these scenes of us just showering like a couple inches away from each other. It was super weird. And it was amazing. And Mike Farrell did the music for that too. It was so awesome and did not go. And we were just scratching our heads, and then we decided, like, let's just make some movies for a while. So that's what we're doing. We're taking that the TV energy. Please don't go. My God, please don't go. Please don't go.
The bummer is that's my mom and grandma. I'll be the cats.
Let's hear it. Cool hair.
So the old woman, well, I hope to God, is a bodysuit. Was that as disgusting as you wanted it to be, or was originally, were you wanting it to be worse or lighter, and you're like, add a gray bush, let's just go.
No, right, yeah. This is the hard-hitting questions we were looking for. The Mrs. Nussbaum suit is the worst thing that ever happened to us in our entire life. We knew we wanted a creepy old lady like the lady from room 220. What is it, room 227?
237 was
314. They changed it for the book of the movie, yeah. We wanted one of those. But then we thought, boy, that would really be a bummer to have someone's grandmother standing around naked all the time. There's just no way around that not feeling great.
Gladys, we just have to book El Moss.
Yeah. We're just gonna hit you with the Evian Mister a minute and then just stop shivering. So the friendly guy that I headbutt in the rental car office.
Excuse me, Padre.
That guy
smoking.
Is also Mrs. Nussbaum in that crazy scene. I'd love to tell you that it didn't take 12 hours to get him, so he's nude underneath that. And when he has to use the bathroom like a gentleman, he has to go out the opening that's made for Mrs. Nussbaum in the suit.
He reaches in, unvelcros the vagina.
Yes. And then get himself out. Now, this gentleman is a good friend of ours. And I literally never felt worse. There were days that literally, and the guy who made it was like, it'll take me 3 hours max to get him into the suit.
12.
There were some days it was like 12 hours and you go, like, he's not quite ready yet.
He said one day, and so he's sitting, and it's this crazy, great. His name's Alex Berg. He's an improv
He runs
guy.
the UCB Theater in Los Angeles.
He runs UCB. Awesome. And everything that they said they were going to do, it took 3 times longer than they thought it was going to do. And he said one time they were...
lame.
Later fixed it in post quite a bit. He said one time they were gluing on they got his face glued on, and they were working on his hands, and he dozed off in his makeup chair, and they were listening to Cthulhu the musical, the heavy metal guys who were doing special effects. Oh God. And he said he sort of dozed off, and he woke up, and the makeup department was also asleep on the floor.
And he had no idea how long they'd been out. Yeah, that was, Mrs. Nussbaum suit was a real, every single shot of Mrs. Nussbaum was in the last 2 days of production.
Yes.
Because, like the shark in Jaws and the Hell Baby, none of them ever worked, ever. Including in the footage you're seeing. Which is awesome, but didn't work. Let's hear it.
Was it all shot in Louisiana, or did you take the house or whatever?
It was amazing. We, every single thing was shot, 85% of the movie is shot within like one city block of New Orleans.
We went to Don Lacey's for Po' Boys.
Yeah.
We went to the city park for Anaconda. The rest of it is shot in one block.
In the lower dark district.
The exterior is...
Which is on the way up if you're looking to buy a house.
The exterior is a house. The interior is a house right behind it. Like, it was all in like one block.
Where's the church?
The church is a little bit further up, a little bit uptown, about 8 blocks further up, just off of Magazine.
Yeah, the Vatican is all inside one church where they let us shoot.
We,
it was all in one. It was great.
We got, when we talked to the priest at that church who ran that church, we said we had to pitch everything the movie was about.
We spun it a little bit.
A little bit. But we said, you know, it's like those old-timey movies about priests who, about fighting priests. And the priest said, oh, we could use more priests like those.
Were there more breasts in the film?
At any point.
They tend to all end up in the cut, yeah. Although, I'd like to give a shout out to the young lady is named Moxie Sazerac, who can do the pasties that go in opposite directions. That's hard. Go home and try it. I'll tell you right now, it's harder than it looks. Moxie Sazerac is her name. When you meet somebody that does that, you remember their name. You also remember their name if it's Moxie Sazerac.
How much time did you spend working on your impeccable accents?
I think like the day before shooting, we had a band. I said, I think I'm going to talk like this. And he said the same thing back.
I think I said, are we doing Irish or Italian?
Yeah, they're pretty amazing, aren't they?
I saw Down by Law.
I think in Europe they'll like them better where they can't tell.
Yeah.
They don't like to them, like they don't know what Borat sounds like. He's technically speaking English. It's weird, you gotta wrap your head around it, yeah. Yes, sir.
You had a lot of like great improv guys, Holmes and Michael and Black and Wayne. Did you have to cut anybody that was in there that?
No, nothing got cut. The only things that got cut, there was an opening scene where you saw the priests, like in the aftermath of a horrible exorcism, where the priest who got impaled with the umbrella is dead. You saw that, and it turns out it was useless. You didn't need that. And then there was a 5-minute conversation when you get to the house. Fresnel comes into the house, and Corddry says, "Do you want something to drink?" And then he goes, and he's like, "All we have is flat Dr. Pepper." And he walks into the kitchen. He gets a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper. It takes him a long time. He comes back and he brings out the 2-liter and he opens the cap and it doesn't make any noise. And we thought that was the funniest thing ever. It was literally about 5 minutes of screen time for characters you just met to go get flat Dr. Pepper. And ultimately, I think the film's better without it.
Yeah, no flat and no, it's still the pepper.
It's still the pepper. The amazing thing is, the biggest focus of pre-production of this movie was getting permission from Dr. Pepper so we could do that. It took months of debating. They said, don't show our label, don't do this, don't do that. We literally didn't sleep and then we cut it.
Domino's was fine because we say pizza salad is great.
Yeah. You noticed there is pizza salad. By the way, try it. It's going to be better than you think. Anything else about this really hard? It's almost like seeing Argo, like it really is. It's intense, you're there with us. I don't know.
So with the boxes, that scene with the
Yeah. What are those?
you know how you have a box?
Yeah.
How many trays did it take? Like, did they take all?
I think that the one of Corddry where everything crazy happens, I think that's the second take.
Yeah, so we did it
Yeah.
4 times, use the second.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's great. It's great when you don't have time for special effects. It's so easy to do stuff because you just do it. You just like, okay, let's tape these boxes together. 2 guys leave them in. Like it's so.
And
much.
yet still it makes you go, ooh.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like obviously there's 2 PAs going. But still, that's really the magic of movies. Because you know. Anything else?
Oh, is it picked up and going to be released? How is it going to be marketed? I guess is my big question.
That's a great question.
Us too.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's interest.
There's several people who seem to be interested, but we haven't.
Nobody saw it until last night.
Yeah, people have only been seeing it for about 18 hours.
Yeah, today was a holiday, so there's a couple of rumblings, but nothing's official or anything. Yeah, but yeah.
As long as it comes out for award season, we're okay.
You know what we call award season in our book? If you're doing show business right, award season is just ski season.
Ski season!
If you're doing it right, you are always free on those awards weekends.
One more question.
Anything else?
Anything else? Thank you.
Next we're going to tackle some sort of slightly more thought-provoking stuff. We're doing the Baywatch movie. For Paramount. It's called Baywatch Red Tide. And the concept is, what if Christopher Nolan directed the Baywatch movie? takes itself super seriously. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. Hasselhoff will certainly be there, yeah.
And we're gonna do probably another one of these next summer. Of like the Hell Baby ensemble players of the same actors but different roles, and it's a prequel.
Yeah,
it's sort of the story of the two cops. It's their story that we didn't hear.
That's where we start. Then it goes into swamps, and it's going to be a bummer. There's a lot of us walking chest deep in the swamps in the next one, which I'm super not excited about.
It's gonna be good.
Thank you guys, really seem to like it. Thank you very much.